New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, wow, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey,
hello, Miss Peg.
Scott Galante. Hello, my dear. Scott Galante, captain of the crew of the Rolling Elvi. Can you tell? Yeah, I think so. He's going to tell us when they're rolling, and we're going to have our tradition, our Elvi fashion show a little later. Welcome. Hi.
Thank you.
Also with us, Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and TheaterCriticism.com. Welcome. Hello, sir. Poppy, you've got, once again, some sweet stuff.
Okay, well, we're going to start off by celebrating that extended Uptown Parade route is back.
Yes.
And especially bravo for Toth Sunday, February 19th. I want everybody to know that Saba, right there at the corner of Magazine and Nashville, is the place to go. There'll be a to-go window, barecas, and also large format cocktails. And then just think about the dining choices you get between Jefferson and Napoleon all next week. Tito's Ceviche, Tal's Hummus, Suko Thai, sushi, pizza, everything you can think of. But I really wanted to remind everybody about one of my favorites, Piccola Gelateria. This is some of the best gelato in the whole city. But they have so much more. Now, they're right there on the corner of Jenna and Magazine Street near Napoleon. Sweet and savory crepes, gelato, king cake gelato. They have sorbettos. We've got a beautiful raspberry one you'll see. But what I really love is that they have all sorts of coffee drinks, like they have hot chocolate, they have lattes, but they're serving a king cake affogato. So you know me and that affogato. So then we're going to move along with our ice cream choices. Look how fabulous that looks right there.
So
look for
pretty.
the little footsteps. There's little footsteps that'll guide you right to their door on Jenna. And of course, that's Rena and Ross Turnbull. They're rocking. So further downtown, another one of my favorite places, Rom House, which of course is inside of Courtyard Brewery. They're hosting Mardi Gras brunches this year on both Sundays, this Sunday and Bacchus Sunday. And you can look for things like a king cake breakfast sandwich that'll have egg and cheese and bacon or sausage, or how about that Mardi Gras bagel with cream cheese. She's also got king cake French toast sticks that she's serving with vanilla ice cream. That's the breakfast of champions at Mardi Gras time. And then I've got an exclusive preview for our viewers out there, because she's not releasing the menu till tomorrow, but that's a preview of Valentine's Love Potion $9.99, which is a floral ganache that goes through this beautiful ice cream, lavender, jasmine, and rose. There's floral petals, and look at that heart-shaped semi-Fredo cake. You can get them in raspberry and chocolate. So go see Jillian Duran. Don't miss it. Then we've got some brand new happenings, never before on Carnival. Bacchus Sunday, they're celebrating at Coquette on Magazine Street. Reservations are available between 1 and 5 for their legendary fried chicken and all sorts of wine specials in honor of Bacchus. And here's a new one. I never knew of a place to go celebrate the Zulu parade before. Well, now, Copper Vine. They're going to be on the balcony. Fabulous brunch, bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, gumbo, deviled eggs, pan perdue. be there on Mardi Gras morning, see Zulu like you've never seen it before. And last of all, it's our last big king cake chat.
Woohoo!
And these are from our friends Samantha and Kelly at IU Bakehouse. And so here we have the croissant. Alan's holding it up in purple, green, and gold. This is their Croissant City Classic laminated dough.
Oh,
then
pretty.
Scott's over there with the chocolate babka king cake, braided layers of Nutella
can
and
smell
chocolate
it.
chips.
Ooh,
And
great.
this is my #1 favorite, the best savory king cake. It's muffalata king cake, King Muffalata, inspired by their muffalata breadsticks. And so go down to IU Mardi Gras morning. They will be there for the Society of St. Anne, 8 a.m. until noon. Samantha and Kelly, the only two people working in their window, getting all those yummies out there.
Thank you so much, Poppy. And turning to Scott. Wow, Scott, love your outfit. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But what I really like, too, is that you all have an anniversary.
We do. So, you know, in New Orleans for Mardi Gras Cruise, it's tough to settle on when the 20th anniversary would be. So we were formed in 2003 and paraded first in 2004. So we are calling this year our Platinum 20th anniversary. We've been around for 20 years, and this would be our 20th parading season, but for COVID.
Before we go any further, though, we have something, it's tradition, of course, the Rolling Elvi fashion show. And now, let's take a look. And what an honor. I am standing here with the captain of the crew of the Rolling Elvi. And you are, sir?
My name is Scott Galante, and I am dressed as Elvis from 1972 in his owl jumpsuit.
Ooh, turn around, sir. Wow. Wow. So he actually had a jumpsuit that was owl. We're owl.
He did from the Elvis on Tour year. On April the 15th, 1972, he wore a jumpsuit that was featuring the owl. Now, there's a little mystery on whether or not it was blue or purple, so I've chosen purple.
And how many years have you all been rolling?
The Elvi started rolling in 2003 and was in a parade for the first year in 2004, Muses.
And when we say rolling, we're talking about scooters, which we'll hear more about a little bit later. Thank you very much. Come on down. Now we're making history here because we have the first female Elvi, and your name is?
Scott Galante.
And tell us who you are portraying and what phase of the King's career.
My tribute to the Elvis phase when he was in Vegas. He had this gorgeous peacock jumpsuit. And so this, I'm celebrating with my costume.
Absolutely gorgeous. Now you were previously a Priscilla, which is the female group, subgroup, isn't it?
That's exactly right. I was a proud Priscilla for more than a decade, but I am so honored with my lovely ladies to finally join the full Elvi Rollers.
All right. Thank you so much. And next up, ooh, who might this be?
Phil Martin, and despite rumors to the contrary, Elvis has not died. I have just left the planet.
Oh, this is big news. This is big news.
I have traveled to the universe and back.
Wow. And now, aren't you one of the Jailhouse Rockers, too, huh? The dance team?
Yes, I'm in the Jailhouse Rockers, and we'll be dancing the parade route tomorrow night in Cleopatra.
Thank you. Next up, wow, gold lame. We love it. And you are, sir?
Dustin Galley. I am the late 1950s. 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong with the gold lame.
Turn around. Ooh, very, very dapper. All right. Dustin, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And finally, who's this guy? Your name?
I am Jim Tapley.
Vaguely familiar. Vaguely familiar.
A little bit. I am the 1969-ish casual Elvis. This is what he would wear when he was not on stage.
Turn around. Ooh. Very, very dapper, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, you'll see all of these guys and much more. Let's keep on boogieing here. Come on up. Come on up. All of these in all the parades. We're going to give you more details in just a minute. But thank you all very, very much. All right, and so many, it's great.
Okay.
All the different parades. Crew of Cleopatra, Ocean, King Arthur, Femme Fatale and Carrollton, Muses, Babylon, Chaos, Isis, and of course, RollingElvi.org. Scott, you got some really wonderful looking things over here.
Thank you. So since it's our 20th anniversary, our platinum, we've come up with this great logo, and it's pretty much on everything we're doing. I think one of the big catches this year is we have both our Priscilla and our Elvis plush dolls that have got the logo on the back, and they're in the peacock jumpsuit theme, and Elvi playing cards.
That's new.
I mean, I've been dying to get a set of these for years, and we finally got them. We've got these great guitar koozies, and you know, as always, if you can catch a Priscilla on the Muses float, you may get a shoe out of them, as everybody else in Muses. But
well, Scott, what I also like, though, it's not that you're just one time a year. You all have events year-round. You actually did a blood drive a few months ago. I remember that.
You know, you always ask about what we're doing when we come here and visit, and this one is really important. Our president, Doug Marshall, put together the blood drive that had been done years before by other crews. And it was like a meeting of all the dancing crews at Tipitina's.
At Tipitina's.
And each of them did, each crew did a showcase, and it was a dance-off, and we raised money for the blood bank. But honestly, we blew away our total goal of 125 pints. I think it was over 150 when we were said and done. So proud of it. And I'm pretty sure about 90% of that went in alcohol-free.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty excited about, for sure.
Well, you look wonderful, as always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And on Mardi Gras Day, this year's Rex Parade will transport us from our historic city to one in Italy to celebrate a beloved tradition. Off to the Races best describes the theme of the 2023 Rex Parade. Rex finds inspiration in a medieval Italian tradition that continues to this day.
The Palio di Siena, a horse race run twice a year in the lovely Tuscan hill town of Siena around the town square. And that celebration and that ritual has become part of the culture of that city in a way very much like Carnival is part of our culture and helps define our city, even as the Palio helps define the city of Siena.
Competing in the 90-second race are riders representing 17 contrati, or neighborhoods. Riding bareback, they are vying for a banner portraying the Virgin Mary. The neighborhoods all tout their mascots, creatures real or mythical. The Italian names of the beasts are used on the Rex floats. It's no surprise there are a few favorites.
Chiocciola, the snail float, a beautiful float. That figure represents a contrada that has chosen as its motto, with slow and deliberate steps, snail takes the field to triumph. These neighborhoods are very proud. Interesting story about that contrada. Their patron saint, St. Anthony, they'd always carried a statue in the parade before the Palio. One year they lost, they threw St. Anthony's statue into a well. They didn't win again. This was 1888. They didn't win again until they finally went back and retrieved the statue from the well in 1910, and then they won the Palio again.
Well, I think definitely one of the ones is the onda. Onda means wave. You're so trained in Mardi Gras to have a float which is like covered in all kinds of color, and it's so limited. And the whole time I was designing it, I was really doubting it. And then even when it was finished painted, I was like, I don't know, it just looks so bland because I'm just so trained to have all this color. But then when it finally got installed, it was just this kind of revelation that there can be this incredible drama that comes in having such a limited color scheme and having just this sea of blue and white coming at you.
Other creatures representing Siena's neighborhoods include Locorno, the unicorn, Oca, a goose, and Drago, a dragon. Royal Artist constructs the parade and works closely with Rex's parade committee. Caroline Thomas puts to paper their concepts and also works directly on the parade itself. Fitting perfectly into this year's tribute to Italia will be the Rex Parade debut of the flag throwers of San Sepolcro, also from the Tuscany region. This year's rolling tableau has an intriguing backstory.
Well, this is the only parade that I know of that we've actually built twice. So it was ready to go for 2021 when we had to cancel Carnival because of COVID. And so we couldn't just reuse it in 2022. That was our 150th anniversary. So everything was taken down, taken off, the floats were stripped and whited out,
When I look at this parade and the beautiful art here, it does make me especially grateful for our artistic director of so many years, over 40 years. Henri Schindler has helped guide the development of these parades, and I think this is a testament to his work.
This year we uncovered some footage in a film museum in Amsterdam of the 1898 Rex Parade. And what's striking about it is how similar our parades are today to the parades from the late 19th century, and how we have preserved the tradition of float design, float making, float construction, and still use so much of the same materials as they used back then.
What I really love, particularly what we do at Royal Artists, is we try to hold on to a lot of those traditional materials and techniques. And there's always room to evolve and expand the tradition, but really holding on to the fact that this is something that has this long history going back, I mean, really, if you're looking in the large scale, hundreds and hundreds of years, but in New Orleans for, 150. And trying to honor that as much as we can and feeling that kind of connection to our history as a city.
Our incorporated name, the School of Design, really captures the mission of the Rex organization, education and art. And art particularly. This den for me is always just a glorious art studio. What we do here, what our artists do here, preserves a tradition of art and enhances it in a way that is so unique. Culturally, there's just nothing like this.
Since Hurricane Katrina, Rex's Pro Bono Publico Foundation has contributed over $13 million to the betterment of local public schools. The organization invites schools to visit the den. Even after this year's parade gallops by, the legacy of the School of Design and the greater good continues. And very special thanks to videographer, editor Lenny Delbert. The parade follows the St. Charles route on Mardi Gras, of course, and will begin at 11 a.m., 1 hour later than usual. Go to rexorganization.com for information on that. Check out our Carnival Close-Up features on our WYES YouTube channel. And once again, WYES will show the Rex Ball and the meeting of the courts of Rex and the Mr. Coup of Comus, Mardi Gras night, beginning at 7 p.m. It will also be in our YouTube and other platforms, YouTube channel that is, and other platforms. So looking forward to that. Alan.
Well, before we get into our looks at some of the new shows that are on the boards, I wanted to kind of like talk a little bit about the theater community. We lost one of our great mentors and driving forces with the passing of Louis Q. Barroso last month, an actor, director, writer, and a theatrical renaissance man who passed away at 78 years young. Louis came to New Orleans when he was around 10 years old, and although he was quite a pivotal figure in your young acting career,
absolutely,
Peggy,
a mentor.
You might remember him from his earlier days. At one point or another, he was at every theater in town, including Rivertown Repertory, Le Petit Theater, Summer Lyric. It was during one of these times where you'll look at that, the likes of Becky Allen and Sid Arroyo. He made his last appearance on Steppin Out back in 2011 when I was first stepping in for his good friend, David Cuthbert, on this very program. And suffice it to say, the New Orleans theater community has lost a true practitioner of his craft and will be missed for some time to come.
I learned so much from Louis. Truly a gentleman.
Yes. Meanwhile, at the Sanger Theater, straight from Broadway, is Tina, the Tina Turner musical. Naomi Jacobs leads this cast with Zurin Villanueva in some of the shows as the titular rock and roll heroine in a jukebox musical that features most of Tina Turner's repertoire. Adrienne Warren won the Tony Award on Broadway for a portrayal I ended up seeing in Keiki O.B. Malikwi at the Lunt Fontaine Theater on Broadway, but I thought Naomi did an outstanding and amazing job this tour. As good as I've seen, the audience enthusiastically agreed. The story of Tina and Ike Turner's early life moves from Nutbush city limits to River Deep, Mountain High, and onto the classic Proud Mary. And she does it easy, and she does it rough. Well, the bad guy, of course, is the wife beater and drug abuser, Ike Turner, played by Garrett Turner, who uses Tina and keeps her in his place basically for 16 years so she can't take it anymore. But like a silver-tongued devil, he befriends Tina's mother, who still regards him as her son-in-law. Zurin Villanueva is seen here as a, I guess you might say, being loved, by another person, Erwin Bach, played by Max Max Falls. He is a German record producer, much younger than she, but he falls for her. And then the end of the show is not unlike a real Tina Turner concert. If you have not seen a live concert before she retired, this is pretty close to what you would have seen. Tina Turner, the Tina Turner musical runs now through Sunday, February the 12th. Meanwhile, over at BB Stage Door Canteen, there are just a few performances left of Fly, an extraordinary piece of theater directed by Tommy Myrick and based on the lives of the Tuskegee Airmen. Fly. Tommy Myrick leads the original players from last year's JPS production. All of them return except for two, the original pilots of Michael C. Forrest, Atlantis Clay, and Jamez Alexander, and their instructor, Captain Michael Smith, of course. Sean Malley also returns as a bomber pilot. Brian Eglin takes on the role of Donald Jones Jr. from last year. He did Oscar, and Noah Hazard is the other bomber pilot. Two other major changes from last year. The visuals that accompany the pilots as they fly through the air are rendered by Marcus Roberts. Really, truly extraordinary. One of the last year's stars, Marcus Roberts, has now moved to Florida, but he really did the rendering of these particular, if you might call it like a training mission, you'd see it, the projections. They're really amazing. Also, the Tap Griot, who had helped with the arc of the story of the struggle from slavery to equality, is really missing because of COVID. He's out now, so he won't be in it. But I really think that helped bring the story of the Tuskegee Airmen more into focus and makes it more of a drama. So keep that in mind. This is not just for Black History Month, people. This is for any student of American history.
Absolutely.
It's a great play by Ricardo Kahn and Trey Ellis. By the way, he's got a connection to New Orleans through his mother, so check it out. You'll see that at Fly. I had the cast of Fly on my NOLA Theater talk show this past Monday. The cast and the director, Tommy Myrick, were on there, and we had a great time talking about the process that they went through, the differences in this year and last year. Don't forget, this coming Monday, it's Goat and the Road's turn. We'll have Chris Kamenstein to talk about role play, the family line, and the COVID short and run of The Uninvited that was over at the Gallier House. So check that out as well. Meanwhile, Cutting Edge Theater in Slidell is back. They've got Dreamgirls right after Mardi Gras. You'll be able to see that February the 25th through March the 18th, and that's again on Robert Boulevard in Slidell. And last but by no means least, Peggy, I've got to talk this. This is Julie Benko. You got a picture of her and her husband, Jason Yeager. They put on a live stream from Birdland this past Monday night that was nothing short of a love letter to New Orleans, replete with Mass for Mardi Gras, all kinds of songs relating to the city, including Basin Street Blues, Bourbon Street Parade, the Saints. And do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? She loves New Orleans, and so does he. And they are just like great ambassadors for the city up in New York. And I hope that they come down here. She, of course, can be seen every Thursday night on the stage at Funny Girl.
All right, thank you so much. And I am kicking off my picks, noting our Mardi Gras marathon at WYES of 8 hours of carnival programs starting at 3 p.m. this Saturday. And then on February 16th, check out Big Chief Blackhawk, a profile of Big Chief T, the city's youngest black masking Indian chief. Here is a sneak peek.
So, what was your first Mardi Gras experience?
The Mardi Gras tribes display their pride through elaborate costumes and dances.
New Orleans is a place where years of cultural diversity have combined into a kaleidoscope of people.
But amidst the feathers, beads, and beats, now there are questions of survival.
COVID-19 in many ways is even more detrimental than Hurricane Katrina.
And the program will debut on WYES's World Channel, that's Channel 12.2, on February 16th at 7 p.m. and air numerous times right here on WYES as well. Go to WYES.org for all the air dates. You can also register for a free webinar on the 16th about this show, featuring Chief T and his family, along with filmmaker Jonathan Isaac Jackson. Go to WYES.org to register as well. WYES is also showing the Emmy Award-winning Irma, My Life in Music, on Saturday the 18th, her birthday, by the way, and on the 22nd. And look for Irma Thomas in the shoe in the Muses Parade on the 16th. All right. So now, though, time for other picks of the week. Poppy.
Where are you going to be on Mardi Gras Day? Well, I got a great place for you to remember, Tujague's. The tradition continues right there on Decatur Street, continuously serving on Mardi Gras Day. There's their new Tujague's King Cake Éclair, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m.
All right, great. Scott.
Well, the Muses Parade, of course. That's always our marquee experience.
And how does somebody join Elvi if they want to join?
So they go to our website, rollingelvi.org, and send us a message. We monitor it, and we'll get you in. We'll let you figure it out.
Great. Alan.
Well, the LPO has a couple of things coming up I want to let everybody know. First off, Matthew Kramer was just announced as the music director designate, who will, of course, be taking over for Carlos Miguel Prieto. So we wanted to make mention of that. Also, the music of John Williams will be coming up at the Orpheum Theater coming up on Saturday, February the 25th, both at 2 o'clock and at 7:30 p.m., and then on Sunday, February the 26th at 3 p.m., and you can go check all that out. Meanwhile, Peggy, I'll be blowing my whistle, as an announcer and also for the street parades as a narrator. So I hope that people will check it out, and I'll see you at the theater or on the parade route.
Okay, and a few more quick picks. The artists at 504 Funk have a great array of carnival and locally themed items, including this tribute to Black Masking Indians. Love that. The 31st annual Costume Boutique will be held at the Always Lounge on Saturday, February 18th from 1 to 6 p.m. The boutique showcases a vast array of one-of-a-kind creations by New Orleans' most inspired costumers and mask makers, and some vintage items as well. Carrie Fisher with the Dames de Perlage. They specialize in creating wonderful beadwork corsets. They made a tribute to the Funny 40 Fellows streetcar ride. The Dames theme this year is Carnival Cruise, and you can see them in King Arthur, Ferret, Oak, and Tux. Once again, very clever throws to show you from some of the local parades. The Krewe of Muses. Look at this. This does light up. Isn't this just great? Also, a Thomas Mann pendant. Miss Poppy, I know you love that. Ooh. The satirical Krewe, that's Muses, and the Krewe d'Etat on the 17th. Love this wonderful hat. It, by the way, will be televising the Krewe parade. Actually, it'll be on Channel 4 on Saturday at 10:35 and repeated on WUPL on NPM at 9 p.m. Sunday. Errol and I are going to be narrating it. Kind of cool, kind of cool. By the way, on Bacchus Sunday at 9 a.m., clarinetist band leader Dr. Michael White will perform at St. Charles Avenue Baptist Church for the 29th annual jazz service at St. Charles and Broadway, free. And this year's Bacchus Parade theme is Throw Me Something, Mister. There's a Mr. Rogers float and even a signature throw, Mr. Potato Head, which is absolutely hysterical. Look at that. Here is Krewe of Orpheus' artistic director, Derek Franklin, and that's on Monday the 20th, Mardi Gras. Look at that. Orpheus presents dark dictums of childhood, sayings that parents would tell their children to try to make them behave. Errol and I will be signing books, signing his Mardi Gras book on Saturday, noon from 2 to 2 at Estella's in Metairie, and then at 3 to 5 at Barnes & Noble over in Mandeville. Next week in our time slot, join me, Arthur Hardy, and Errol, when we'll talk about Mardi Gras. So we'll be back actually Thursday after Mardi Gras for our regular edition. And thank you all so very much. Thank you for watching. Happy Mardi Gras. Bye-bye.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.